Right off the bat, one of the first misconceptions that I see newer backpackers having is they have a misconception that you need some type of giant knife, such as this K-bar, like marine fighting knife, or a hatchet or a machete or something along these lines. I think this knife weighs like a pound. So it's just a common misconception that I see a lot of people having. And I had the same misconception when I first started backpacking. So don't feel bad, but we feel like we need something like this. You know, I don't know what we think. We think that, you know, we're gonna be fighting off fucking bears out here. We're gonna be fighting off Bigfoots, people, you know, we're gonna be fighting for our lives out here. I don't know what the hell's going on. There's some crazy shit going on in these woods. It's a fight for our lives out here. Or, you know, we're gonna be hacking down fucking trees. We're gonna be fucking making tinder. I don't know what we're gonna be doing to need this knife, but you definitely do not need a knife like this. Now, if it's your thing and that's what you're into, by all means, go for it. But if you're just out doing normal backpacking, you definitely don't need something like this. My recommendation, if you still want to carry a knife, but you want something a little bit lighter, get one of these. These are Mora knives. I think they weigh around 4 or 5 ounces, very sharp. I don't think they're quite full tang. I think they're 3/4, but very sharp. You know, they're gonna cut more than anything you want out here. And you know, if you want to do a little light bush crafting, things like that, these Moras, this is a nice one right here. These Mora knives are definitely a good option. I've carried something like this a little bit further on into my backpacking journey. Yeah, these are great knives. I sharpen them to be extremely sharp. So if you're a little paranoid, I don't know, you want something to feel like you have something to protect yourself with, you want to do a little light bushcrafting, you can take something like one of these Mora knives. And then as you get more advanced, you go down further, you can grab something like this. I don't know how you pronounce this. Opinel, whatever the hell it is. It's a carbon knife, just flips out, goes down like this. It's very sharp, and I think it weighs around an ounce. So you could check out something like this. This is the primary knife that I bring along with me on most of my backpacking trips now. Something simple. Probably 85% of the trips I never even use it. So, but it is there when I need it. It stops me from screwing up my mountain house packages sometimes, I know that much. Or you can check out something like this guy right here. This is a Leatherman squirt. Now this honestly isn't something bad to have. You got a little set of pliers here. You got a couple knives, you know, just a couple simple tools. So this is definitely something that you can look into. So if you're getting into backpacking, you're just starting out, don't fall into the misconception that you need a goddamn fighting knife or an axe or a machete or anything like that, because you don't. Another misconception that I see newer backpackers falling into is you get caught up in this ultralight thing, you get on some forums, you watch some videos, and all of a sudden you start thinking that, oh man, backpacking is just about being as light as you possibly can. It's really not about having fun. You just want to hike as many miles as you possibly can, be as light as you can, and that's all you're allowed to do. And that is 100% not the case. Luxury items are a great thing to have when you're out on the trail. So if you can see right here what I'm sitting in, this is the Helinox Chair Zero, the infamous camp chair. You know, you're gonna see the backpacking community be divided about backpacking chairs. Some of us love them, some of us hate them. Seems like there's no real in between. And I'm completely square in between. I'll bring this chair with me. I love it. It's awesome to have a place to sit down. I'll bring something like this on trips when I'm doing shorter mileage. When I want to build a campfire, when I want to sit by it and relax, I'm bringing something like this. Now, if I'm doing a longer trip, a through hike, then I'm definitely not going to bring it, because I hammock camp all the time. So I have a perfect place to sit anyway. I have no need for a chair. Now I can see that people that tent camp, I could definitely see why people that use tents would be more prone to wanting to bring a chair, because they don't have an automatic simple place to sit. Other luxuries that I bring with me, I bring my AeroPress coffee maker and a half a pound to a pound sometimes of roast ground coffee, because I love having awesome coffee on the trail. So that's a luxury item for me, and it's worth it. I love it. I bring it. I don't give a shit. You might bring something like a saw, because you know this is gonna make it so easy to get a fire at camp. You know, boom, you got this, you get a couple logs, saw them up, you got an awesome fire. You got bigger logs, you could sit around the fire all night in your chair, drink coffee. While the lightweight backpackers are fucking, you know what I mean, making twig fires, not sitting in a chair and not drinking good coffee. So just don't fall into the trap that you can't take luxury items. I highly encourage you to take luxury items. Everyone's luxury item is going to be a little different. You know, you've seen some of mine. You might want to bring an actual book to read, because that's what you like to do when you're out in the woods. Maybe a Kindle reader. Some of you might want to bring like a really nice pillow or a super cushy sleep pad. Whatever it is, you know, hey, if you're willing to carry it for the duration of the trip, then go for it. If it enhances your experience in the backcountry, then take it. It's all about having fun out here. Especially in the beginning, you need to be having fun. You don't need to be going out there and killing yourself and making things not even fun, not even enjoyable, you know? So that's a piece of advice. Make it fun. Take whatever you want. If you want to take a full cook set, go for it. Some like steaks, all that good stuff, do it, man. It's, hey, make your experience out here as fun as possible. There's no point of coming out here and not being able to have fun, you know? I enjoy hiking, but I also enjoy getting to camp and being able to, you know, have some things that make the camp experience that much better, to where I can really enjoy my time out here. Another common misconception that I see a lot of backpackers having when they're newer, they have this conception that you must have boots in order to go backpacking or hiking. There's no questions, no ifs, ands, or buts. You have to have hiking boots or you can't go hiking. Now that's a total myth, a total misconception. You absolutely do not need boots to go hiking. You can get rid of them. Now the choice is going to be totally up to you on what you want to wear. You can wear the boots like I just showed you, or you can wear something like these trail runners. Now there's going to be advantages, pros and cons to each, just like everything in life and everything in backpacking. You're gonna have to weigh out those pros and cons. Some pros of the boots are that, you know, they're higher topped. They're gonna give you more stability in your ankle. They're gonna come up higher, and some people need that, and that's great. Hiking boots might definitely be for you in that situation. Now most boots are also gonna be waterproof, some type of Gore-Tex, which is really nice. Can keep your feet dry, especially a good idea in the wintertime, because you're really gonna wanna be keeping your feet dry in the winter. They're also probably gonna have more of a stack height, more rubber cushioning on the bottom, more cushiony, possibly better traction, not always. But the disadvantages of these boots are gonna be that, you know, you will have less mobility in your ankles. And for me personally, I like to have my ankles free, able to move around more easily. And Gore-Tex boots like this, if you have to do a stream crossing, you're either gonna have to take these off, you know, have a different pair of shoes to cross the creek, because if you get water filled up over top of these boots, I mean, it's over. You're gonna have a really hard time getting these dried back out. So that's where, you know, the trail runners have an advantage. They're mesh, they actually have venting holes here for water to escape. So you just walk right through creeks, mud puddles, whatever, and you wear some wool socks along with them. Psh, your feet will dry out in no time. And you know, they're lighter, they're quicker, they dry out faster. I'm definitely a trail runner kind of person. That choice is gonna be up to you, but just know that you don't need boots in order to go backpacking. I see a lot of backpackers, and newer backpackers especially, that think that you got to drink some bullshit, trash, nasty, instant coffee like this when you're out on the trail. You absolutely don't have to drink that shit. You could get something like this, like me, grab yourself an AeroPress and some ground coffee, and you're in business. You're gonna be having some awesome coffee. There's, you can also go with like a pour over. I've seen people do that. I get it that it's kind of some people's tradition, like I'm going out on the trail, I'm going to drink nasty coffee. Like they kind of enjoy it. And I get it that some people aren't really that into coffee, and the instant stuff does save you time at camp. I'll give you that. But you know, if you want to enjoy a good cup of coffee, and I especially like to enjoy a good cup of coffee at night at camp, get yourself an AeroPress, learn how to use it, get yourself some good coffee grounds, and you're gonna be in business. Another misconception that I've seen posted in some of the forums that I didn't even realize was a misconception that people had about backpacking is that you need to carry all the water that you're gonna need for your entire backpacking trip. I've definitely seen, you know, some newer backpackers asking this question. You know, they're like, so I weigh this much, we're hiking this far, how much, you know, water am I gonna need per hour or however, basically trying to total up the total amount of water that they're gonna need for their trip, which, oh man, you do not have to do it like that. All you gotta do is grab yourself a micron filter, such as the Sawyer Squeeze or the Platypus Quick Draw, which is what I'm using right now. It's very simple. You know, you just filter your water through those and you don't have to carry all this water. God, I would never want to carry 6 liters of water with me. I think a liter of water weighs somewhere around 2.4 pounds. So it adds up quick. When I'm backpacking, I'm really trying not to carry more than a liter and a half at any given time under normal circumstances, even less a lot. Especially here in Pennsylvania, there's creeks everywhere. A lot of places you're not going to go more than a couple miles without running across some kind of water. Now, if you're in desert areas, different climates, somewhere not Pennsylvania, this could be totally different. And I don't want to steer you wrong. You know, in those instances, you might need to carry more water, but in Pennsylvania, most of the time, you never really need to carry more than a liter. So keep your weight down, get yourself a micron filter, filter your water out on the trail. Another common misconception that I see people that are interested in getting into backpacking have is that they feel like you need to have all kinds of outdoor experience, prior experience. You need to have been a Boy Scout out in the woods all your life, or you know, you're never gonna make it out here on the trail in the woods, and that's completely not true. Now, if you just do your basic research, figure out the gear that you need, test it out before you go on the trail, all those good things, make sure that you have a form of GPS, maps, know how to use them, and all this good stuff, and you start out small, you don't need prior experience. Hell, I would prefer not to have prior experience when I'm beginning in backpacking because that makes it fun. That's the fun of it. You get to go through this whole process, learn and grow as you go. To me, it's fun being out there and not knowing exactly what you're doing. I think that that's an awesome part about backpacking in the beginning when you're new. You know, as long as you're being safe about it. You know, you've never done a trail before. Oh man, I've only used this tent or this hammock a couple times. I'm really not sure about if I know how to get my quilts on exactly right or not. Am I gonna stay warm tonight? I don't know, I guess we'll find out. And so, you know, that's some of the fun stuff about backpacking. So don't be intimidated if you're interested in beginning backpacking. Just start off small, do day hikes, make sure that you can handle the hiking, and then get your gear together. If you don't have all the greatest, latest gear, it doesn't matter. Do something small, closer to home, until you start to feel things out, and you'll learn as you go, and you're gonna have some amazing experiences out here on the trail. I can promise you that much. And those are some of the most common misconceptions and myths that I could think of off the top of my head. If you guys have any more, leave them in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video and you want to learn more about backpacking, tips and tricks, gear, hammocks, all while keeping it lighthearted and fun, consider subscribing to the channel. And I'll see you guys in the next one.